Hello, sports fans, and welcome to the Scott Sports 101 NFL Football Sunday late games, post game show, Sunday night pregame, halftime show. Well, we've had a lot of great action, packed football games in Week 7 of the NFL, and I'm going to go over all over the four late games, and all of today's NFL action, and give out my Scott Sports 101 NFL Week 7 game balls. Well, let me flip back to I had it, here we go. In the late games, we'll start with those. Oh, excuse me. The Las Vegas Raiders beat the Philadelphia Eagles 33-22 in Allegiant Stadium in Las Vegas, Nevada. Philadelphia had chances, but they just could not take advantage. They just couldn't capitalize on them today. And they scored once in the first quarter, and then came back and had a couple touchdowns, and I think a 2-point conversion in the fourth. But that was as close as they got. That was as close as they got, I believe. And so, yeah, that was as close as they got. And but nonetheless, Philly gets the win. But the Raiders get the win but Derek Carr, he could not be stopped today. He was on a roll today. So I got to give the game balls to the Raiders. Derek Carr, 31 of 34. Carries in the times, 223 yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception. Kenyon Drake, 14 attempts, 69 yards, 1 touchdown. And Foster Moreau, 6 receptions, 60 yards, 1 touchdown. Oh, wait a minute, hold on. The LA Rams beat the winless Detroit Lions, who now fall to 0-7 on the season. They had a chance to get there when they were leading, but then they let it slip, and the Rams took advantage of it, and they win 28-19. So I got to give it to Matt Stafford and company. But the Lions led early on and early in the second half, but then it slipped. So I got to give it to Matt Stafford and company. Matt Stafford, 28 of 41, carries an attempt, 334 yards, 3 touchdowns. Darrell Henderson, 15 attempts, 45 yards, and Cooper Kupp, 10 receptions, 156 yards, 2 touchdowns. So, and it was just the Rams all the way. They go to 6-1. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers just smoked the Chicago Bears today at Raymond James Stadium in Tampa, Florida, 38-3. Tampa Bay 6-1 for the first time in franchise history. They are 6-1, or 5-1, for the first time in franchise history. And Tom Brady became the first player to throw 600 career touchdown passes. Routed the Chicago Bears 2-33 to 3-1 on Sunday for the best 7-game start in franchise history. The defending Super Bowl champions won their fourth straight game. They are 6-1 for the first time in franchise history. And the Tampa Bay defense did its job today, limiting offensively challenged the Bears 3-4. Cario Santos' second quarter field goal, sacking rookie Justin Fields 4 times, forcing D. Delaney, and they have one of the Bucs, 3 interceptions the first quarter. And it was just Tampa Bay the whole game, and they didn't leave the Bears a chance. So by far the Bears get the game balls. I gotta give them to the Bears. I mean the Bucs, excuse me. Whoop. Tom Brady, 20 of 36 carries and attempts, 211 yards, 4 touchdowns. Leonard Ferrante, 15 attempts, 81 yards, 1 touchdown. And I think it's Mike Evans, I believe. Yeah, Mike Evans. 6 receptions, 76 yards, 3 touchdowns. And in the final late game, the Arizona Cardinals remain unbeaten as they smoke the Houston Texans 31-5. They limited Houston to 1 field goal and a safety. And that all came in the first quarter for them, but Arizona took over from then, and I got to give the game balls to the Arizona Cardinals. And DeAndre Hopkins caught a touchdown pass against his former team. Zach Ertz. Zach Ertz, I believe, caught a touchdown pass for his new team, the Arizona Cardinals, and they scored 31 unanswered points to roll past Houston, 31-5, as I said. And the Cardinals remain the NFL's only undefeated team and improved to 7-0 for the first time since 1974. And the Texans fall to 1-6 and look totally overmatched for 3 quarters, have lost 6 straight. And Arizona fell into an early 5-0 hole after a slow offensive start, but the Cardinals were 20.5 favorites to FanDuel. But they recovered with it easily. The Cardinals were 20.5 favorites, according to FanDuel, which is a massive spread for an NFL game. And Kyler Murray completed 20 of 28 passes for 261 yards, 3 touchdowns, 1 interception. And the interception was his first since week 3. And rare bad moments, a solid day. And James Conner had an 18-yard touchdown, and Ertz had it for a 7-yard TD reception, which was the longest of his career. And it's the first time Hopkins and J.J. Watt played against Houston, which is where both grew into stars before coming to the Cardinals. Watt signed with Arizona during the past offseason, while Hopkins was acquired by the Cardinals in a trade in 2020. But, boy, just what a day for the Arizona Cardinals today. So they get the game balls. Kyler Murray, 20 of 28 carries and attempts, as I said, 261 yards, 3 touchdowns. James Conner, 10 attempts, 64 yards, 1 touchdown. Zach Ertz, 3 receptions, 66 yards, 1 TD. And those were your 4 late games. We're going to get back and go to the early games right now. And starting with, and you already know from Thursday night, the Browns beat the Broncos 17-14 at First Energy Stadium. And that was to salvage their season. And we're going to start with today's games, the early games. The Titans beat the Chiefs 27-3 at Nissan Stadium in Nashville. And the Washington football team was smoked by the Green Bay Packers at legendary Lambeau Field in Green Bay, Wisconsin, 24-10. Green Bay whooped them. And a shootout between Atlanta and Miami as the Falcons beat the Dolphins 30-28 at Hard Rock Stadium. They were the winner by far. Excuse me. The New England Patriots smoked the New York Jets 54-13, an embarrassing loss for the Jets. The New England Patriots just had this one from the get-go. And the New York Giants smoked the Carolina Panthers 25-3 at MetLife Stadium in East Rutherford, New Jersey. And to complete your late games, the Cincinnati Bengals beat the Baltimore Ravens 41-17, and they're now tied with Baltimore for first place in the AFC North. And Joe Burrow threw for 416 yards and 3 touchdowns, and he stands a chance to be my player of the week. And right now, as they enter the third quarter, just coming off halftime, the Indianapolis Colts are up on the San Francisco 49ers 13-12 at Levi's Stadium in San Francisco on Sunday Night Football. And I have taken San Francisco, and so has my brother-in-law, but right now we're both 7-4 right now. Both the Colts and the 49ers, I believe, are both coming off bye weeks, so both teams are going to be out to win this game, but I do feel San Francisco will get the win by far, but they're down by 1 right now, but they do have time to come back these last 2 quarters, so we'll see what happens. Well, that's just about going to wrap it up for the Scott Sports 101 NFL Football Sunday late games post-game show and Sunday Night Football pregame halftime show, and I'll be back with the Scott Sports 101 Sunday Night Football postgame show once the game between the 49ers and Colts is concluded. But until then, always remember, be a team player each and every day and every way possible. So long, everybody. 3, 2, 1, I'm done.